Cartoons, cartoons, cartoons. You grew up loving them in theaters and on television. Rekindle your love for Betty Boop, Felix the Cat, Bugs Bunny, Popeye, Superman, and all their animated friends. Make new friends with Bosco, Colonel Bleep, and the Funny Company Gang. The laughter never stops on ComedyMX channels. So return with us now to those golden days of yesteryear.
Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of The Visitor from Outer Space.
Of all the many dangers involved in space navigation, one of the worst is uncharted asteroids. These deadly missiles from outer space can destroy even the largest cargo ship. Therefore, it is of the utmost importance that they be charted upon the space charts of the solar system. It's Eros, all right. 5 miles thick and nearly 15 miles long. Its true course has never been plotted.
Didn't it nearly collide with her once, Professor?
Came dangerously close once. That was in 1931. It seems to be on a new orbit now.
Don't all asteroids follow a fixed orbit?
Not Eros. No one has been able to chart her accurately. It's almost as though she has a mind of her own. Don't most women? I have a theory about the erratic behavior of Eros.
What's that, Professor?
If I'm not mistaken, that asteroid has a small gravity field. This could account for her change in course. Makes sense, Skipper.
Why, yes. If Eros passed a planet like Earth in her orbit, she'd be slightly attracted.
She seems to have a life all her own. And amazingly enough, Eros is growing. And that I don't understand. Scott, based on this information, how about going out and charting her new course?
We should be able to intercept it in the area of the Van Allen belt. We'll blast off immediately.
Clear the tube for blast off.
Strapped in, gang?
Go here.
Aye, Skipper.
Launch control. We're ready for countdown.
Roger, Starduster. Control ready and counting.
Reactors, go.
Umbilical, go.
Cabin pressure, go.
Tube doors opening.
Angle of blast 230, vector 4.
Correcting angle.
Trajectory, go.
AB temperature, go.
Increasing power. How's the angle, Chris?
Trajectory perfect. Acceleration 15 units.
Okay, kids. Man your stations and let's see if we can find that frisky asteroid.
Scott, the Evening Star is trying to contact us on channel 37.
Right, Chris. Starduster here. What's up, Professor Mace?
Scott, there are heavy sunspot eruptions taking place. That means increased radiation in the Van Allen belts. Watch the radiation count closely. You may have to change your point of rendezvous with Eros.
Don't see how we can, Professor. If your theory is right, Eros will change course when it reaches the Van Allen belt. We'll have to pick it up on the other side or take the chance of missing completely.
Well, don't risk your life going through that belt. If the radiation gets too hot, turn back.
Okay, Professor, we'll be careful. Starduster out.
Evening Star out. We're approaching the outer belt now, Skipper.
Chris, how much radiation?
4.4. Not much higher than usual.
We'll be through it before we can do any harm.
What's the danger point, Skipper?
10 even. If We're exposed too long. Give us a rating, Chris.
9.3 and rising. 9.4. 9.5.
How about it, Skipper?
Brace yourselves, kids. We're blasting out of here.
Scott, the radiation is still on the increase. It's 9.9.
Something's wrong.
Cosmic disturbance dead ahead, Skipper.
10 and still rising, Scott.
The Starduster is being exposed to extremely dangerous radioactivity. What will happen to Scott and his friends? Don't miss the next exciting episode of Space Angel. Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of The Visitor from Outer Space. Last time, Scott, Taurus, and Crystal blasted off, heading for the asteroid Eros in order to chart its course. As they flew through the Van Allen radiation belt, the Starduster was exposed to extremely dangerous radioactivity.
Give us a radiation reading, Chris.
11.3 and still rising.
We can't ride through this much longer.
Is our call signal? Must be Professor Mace. Starduster here. Come in, Professor.
What's wrong out there, Scott? My tracking instruments record high radiation.
They read right. Our radiation reading is over maximum safety limits.
What is your reading at the moment?
Reading, Chris.
12 even. Still going up.
That's bad business, Scott. Don't take any chances. Get into the radiation chamber and ride this out. The sunspots must have created a solar storm. Those are solar flare particles we're dealing with.
Roger, Professor. Out here. I'm setting the Starduster on automatic. Everybody into the radiation chamber.
How about Eros, Skipper? Aren't we getting close?
Can't worry about that. We've already been dangerously exposed to radiation.
Well, come on, slowpokes. You're just asking for trouble. We're safe here. Radiation factor reads negative.
Hard to believe she's sizzling outside.
All we've got to worry about is the possibility of meeting Eros head-on.
We'll never know it, Skipper. Not in here.
Now, that's a nice, cheery little thought.
Our velocity was 1,000 space units. At that rate of speed, we should be able to pass through this stuff in another 5 units.
With Eros closing on us, that's a mighty long time, Skipper.
Right. The ARI will tell us when it's safe to leave this chamber.
What's the matter, lass? You look all in.
I don't know what's the matter. Oh, I feel so drowsy.
Oh, that's a woman for you, Skipper. Right in the middle of... They fall asleep. Who must be catching?
There's something wrong here. It's beginning to affect me. Great Scott. The oxygen can't be right. Oxygen is normal. But something's definitely wrong. I must stay awake.
Evening star to Starduster. Evening star to Starduster. Come in, Scott. Come in, Scott. They're in the radiation chamber, but surely Scott would switch on the auxiliary speaker in there. Evening star to Starduster. Come in, Scott. Come in, Scott. Scott, Crystal. Crystal, are you all right? What's happened?
Oxygen okay, but I just can't figure this out. Why we can't breathe. Our CO2 converter system. The circulator's out. Warning lamp failed us. We're breathing our own exhale. We could have suffocated.
Skipper, what happened?
We were asleep. Hold it, Scott. Listen.
Our converter fan was off. In free fall, our breath just hung around us. It had no place to go.
Evening star calling Starduster. Scott, Crystal, come in, please. Calling Scott McCloud. Come in, please. This is Professor Mace.
Professor Mace, sorry for the delay. Had a little trouble here. Okay now.
Scott, I can't locate Eros. Terrible interference.
Was she still on course when you lost contact?
Yes, but that was some time ago.
You better work fast. We're approaching rendezvous. Taurus, check environment.
Aye, Skipper. Outside radiation approaching normal, Skipper.
Good. Let's get back to our stations. Now remember, Taurus, we just want to find Eros. We don't want to hit it.
I got you, Skipper, but I can't see anything out there anywhere but space.
Has Eros changed course again? If so, where is it headed this time? Don't miss the next exciting episode of Space Angel. Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of The Visitor from Outer Space. Last time, Scott, Taurus, and Crystal, on their way to chart the course of the asteroid Eros, were exposed to extremely dangerous radiation. While they were in the deradiation chamber of the Starduster, Professor Mace reported that he had lost radar contact with the asteroid. Still not a thing, Skipper.
Chris?
Negative. I've scanned the whole sector and she's simply not around.
I can't understand it. Eros has to be somewhere in the vicinity of Earth.
That asteroid is awfully fickle, Skipper. Maybe she decided to visit Mars instead.
Hold it, Taurus. Here's Professor Mace. Come in, Professor.
I picked her up, Scott. Eros is in orbit around the moon. When she hit that cosmic storm, she must have been deflected on a tangent.
No wonder we couldn't find her.
The Earth was blocking our scanner.
Circling the moon, eh? See, Skipper, I told you she was fickle. Eros is in a tight elliptical orbit and very unstable. She's a real menace to space traffic in that area, Scott.
We'll get right over there, Professor. Out here.
Moon dead ahead, Skipper. Now coming into view. No Eros, though.
Probably around the back. There she comes now. The professor wasn't kidding. That asteroid is in a tight orbit.
Now that's the darndest thing I've ever seen, Skipper. Her orbital pattern changes each time around. What do you think, lad?
One thing for sure, Taurus. It's blocking every approach to the moon.
A pilot would be out of his mind if he tried to land on it.
Know what I think, Skipper? Charting that crazy asteroid is a waste of time.
You're right. Chris, get me Professor Mace.
Yes, Scott, right away.
That's right, Professor. Eros cannot be charted.
Then we really have no choice, Scott. We've got to get rid of her.
I read you, Professor. Out here. Have you heard the Professor? We're going to have to get rid of Eros.
Good idea, Skipper. But first, we've got to catch her.
Then hang on, gang. The fireworks are about to start. What's our range, Chris?
300 astro leagues, Scott.
And closing in fast, Skipper. There goes Eros. She's holding pretty steady now.
Stand by. I'm going to try to match her course and speed.
Eros, dead ahead, Skipper.
Skipper, look out! Eros is erupting.
Volcanic blasts. Hang on. Emergency. Full speed. All engines. Where's Eros?
She's headed for the moon. Holy cow,
it! Don't stop!
Hang on. Eros has a new course.
Good heavens, she's headed towards Earth.
Oh, no. We've got to stop it.
A wild asteroid plunging through space. Can Scott prevent Eros from colliding with Earth? Don't miss the next exciting episode of Space Angel. Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of The Visitor from Outer Space. Last time, Scott, Taurus, and Crystal had located the erratic asteroid in orbit around the moon. It was decided that Eros could not be charted and was a real menace to space traffic, so it must be destroyed. As they closed in on the asteroid, Eros erupted and, changing course, headed straight for Earth.
We're gaining on that wild asteroid.
Uh-oh. There go those blasted jets again, Skipper.
She's changing course, Scott. Almost 45 degrees.
Chris, get me Professor Mace. That asteroid's now gone completely wild.
Right, Scott. Starduster calling the Evening Star.
That's it, Professor. No telling what Eros will do next. We've got a volcanic asteroid on our hands.
That's very serious, Scott. Those blasts coming from Eros could force her into one of the planets, maybe hit a city.
Scott, Eros is changing course again. Good golly. She's going into Vector 6, headed directly for the Evening Star.
Professor Mace, Eros is now heading for the Evening Star.
I know, Scott. My radar scope's warning system is at work. She's getting awfully close, son.
No! Eros must have struck the Evening Star. Dad! Oh, Dad!
Professor Mace, are you all right? Come in, please. Are you all right, Professor? Come in. Good grief, there she is. Look at that.
What a mess.
Dad has to be okay. He has to be.
Hold it. I think this is the Professor. He's coming in on audio.
Hello, Starduster. This is Evening Star.
He's on the emergency frequency.
This is Professor Mace. Come in, Scott.
It's Dad. Oh, thank heavens.
Go ahead, Professor.
I'm okay. Eros just brushed us. The Evening Star was shaken up a bit. Oh, we'll be okay, Scott. We're repairing the damage now. You get that asteroid before she does any more damage.
Will do, Professor. Out here.
She's lined up, Skipper.
Stand by to drop the thermal package. Chris, open hatch.
Right, Scott. Hatch open.
She's down, lad.
I'll make this as quick as possible. As soon as I activate that firecracker, I'll get out for Eros. We'll rendezvous as planned.
Be careful, Scott.
Watch out for that asteroid, Skipper. She's tricky.
Stand by to launch spacecraft.
Got the thermal package. About to arm bomb.
Hurry, Skipper. That asteroid can change course at any time.
There. She's activated. Taurus, I'm ready to head back. Stand by them.
She's beginning to erupt again, Skipper. Get off! Get off!
Jump in. Space Dark's gone.
He's stranded, Chris. Scott can't get off Eros.
Oh, no. Scott trapped on a volcanic asteroid. Can he be rescued before the thermo bomb explodes? Don't miss the next exciting episode of Space Angel. Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of The Visitor from Outer Space. Last time, you remember the decision was made to destroy the wild asteroid Eros. Scott landed in a space dart and activated the thermal bomb. Just at that moment, Eros erupted and the space dart was demolished, leaving Scott stranded.
Skipper, are you okay? Come in, lad.
All right for the moment, Taurus. Things are getting rough.
Stand by, lad. We're coming for you.
No, you old bull. No sense all of us getting it. Stay out of here. That's an order.
Skipper, this is one time I'm glad to disobey an order. Now, if we don't make it in time, you can court-martial me. Lower the bosun's chair, Chris.
Right, Taurus. Chair down, Taurus.
Good girl, Chris. The skipper's climbing in. Now, if we can get him aboard before that bomb goes off.
Okay, here, Taurus. Go ahead.
Gotcha, Skipper. Hang on. Easy does it, Chris. Get him on the radar scope. Pinpoint his position.
Radar scope activated. It's no use, Taurus. I'm picking up debris from Eros. I can't tell which blip is Scott.
Hang on, girl. I'm going after him.
Calling the Starduster. Get in, please. It's no use. My transmitter's out.
That's about it, Professor. Scott's adrift somewhere out there. Taurus, I think we can get a fix on Scott through triangulation. Use his environment indicator and set your course. I'll do the same from here. Chris, stand by to chart his position.
Right, Dad. Start anytime. I found him, Taurus.
We found him, Professor. Contact later and thanks. Out here. Stand by retros, Chris. I've spotted the skipper on the viewer. He's indicating his transmitter's out, Chris. Prepare to pick him up. Stand by, the skipper's A-OK.
There's Eros now. Heading right for the sun.
She's gone, Scott.
What she could have done to space navigation.
A real temperamental little gal, Skipper.
A devil of a gal, if you ask me.
Hey, I've got an idea. Why don't we take a short cruise around the planet Cambria?
Now, if that isn't a silly idea, it would take us weeks.
Any particular reason, you old bull?
Well, after that collision Eros had with the Evening Star, there's an awful lot of work waiting for us when we get back. I was kind of hoping we'd miss it.
And so ends the story of The Visitor from Outer Space. Don't miss the next exciting adventure with Scott McCloud, Space Angel. Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of The Slave World.
As you know, every 30 years, these two planets orbit through our galaxy. And for a couple of months, we get a fairly good look at them.
I remember them, Chief. They move in a contrary orbit to the rest of our planets.
Exactly. And since the development of this new telescope, we've had a chance to get a closer picture of these babies. There's every reason to believe that both of these planets are inhabited.
What strange-looking stars.
Not stars, Crystal. Spacecraft. Like saucers.
Saucers like we used to see from Earth?
Yes, and they undoubtedly came from this smaller planet. Scott, I want you to go there, and if you find intelligent beings, invite them to join the Interplanetary Council.
We'll take off immediately.
Oh, darn, there goes my hair appointment.
Maybe they have beauty parlors out there, Crystal.
Oh, Taurus.
Planet's dead ahead, Skipper.
Oxygen indicator positive. They have an atmosphere.
Reverse G seats. Stand by for entry.
Scott, the little planet has a volume equal to Earth's moon.
Radiation is high, but safe.
Firing retro rocket. Reversing ship for landing. Not a sign of life.
What did you expect, a welcoming committee?
Sure is quiet out there.
We better take our blasters, Skipper, just in case.
Let's go down and take a look around.
It sure doesn't look inhabited to me.
Scott, look! A flying saucer.
Say the word, lad, now.
Hold your fire, Taurus. We come as friends from the outer galaxy.
Welcome to Utopia. We were expecting you. I am known as Ito. We are to take you to Sesam, our ruler.
Thank you. We're anxious to meet with him.
They look just like we do.
Come. We will take you in our surface craft.
How far is it to your city?
It is not far. Soon we will go underground and transfer to the tube.
What is the tube, Ito?
The tube is our underground transportation. All of our cities are underground. We have arrived. This is our Capitol building. Sesam awaits you.
And so, on behalf of the Interplanetary Council, we're pleased to invite your planet as a full member.
To be governed by its laws and share in its benefits.
If only we could, Commander. Unfortunately, we have no control of our affairs. Utopia is a slave state.
Slave state? In this day and age?
Well, we'll fix that. No, my friends. It cannot be fixed. Our very existence is controlled by Spartania. What great power does Spartania have over the planet Utopia to keep it a slave planet? And how will Scott be able to help? Don't miss the next exciting episode of Space Angel. Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of The Slave World. You remember last time, Scott, Crystal, and Taurus blasted off in the Starduster for 2 small planets that orbit through our galaxy once every 30 years. They landed on the smaller planet and started exploring when a flying saucer appeared. The friendly pilot, Ito, took them underground to Sesam, the ruler of Utopia, who explained that Utopia was a slave to its planet, Spartania.
What power do the Spartanians have over your people?
Many centuries ago, the Spartanians declared war on us. Because we were a peace-loving people, we were not prepared to defend ourselves. They orbited megatomic ray stations around our planet. Observe the view screen. They can activate the ray stations at will, contaminating our atmosphere.
Of all the dirty tricks.
In all these years, why haven't you contacted us for help?
We tried on several occasions. We sent out our saucers. Let me show you. We had hoped to find a civilization more highly developed than our own, who could help us resolve our interplanetary dispute. But a horrible sight awaited us when we arrived at your Earth. We found you Earthlings engaged in primitive battles among yourselves. That was the First World War.
Oh, how terrible.
Many years passed before we again sent saucers to your world.
World War II.
Seems pretty ridiculous, doesn't it? But there were intervals of peace between these conflicts.
That may well be. We never attempted to contact you again. We have accepted our fate.
But that was a long time ago.
That's right. Wars have been outlawed in our solar system. In fact, the whole galaxy.
That's right, Season. We now have the Interplanetary Space Council to enforce peace. And I can assure you it has the power to do so.
No, my friend. We cannot risk it. Spartania could destroy us in a matter of hours.
The Spartans are here. What shall we do?
Prepare for tribute.
Tribute? What tribute?
Whenever they ask, we must pay tribute to the Spartanians. Let us go to the surface, and you may see for yourselves.
Is this the tribute you must pay? Your own people?
Yes, Scott.
How barbaric.
All must take their turns at serving the Spartanians.
I wouldn't submit to slavery. Why don't you fight them?
That would not be very utopian. This is the only way our race can survive. Remember, the Spartanians could suffocate our planet in a matter of hours if they chose to do so.
I think it's time we paid a visit to these Spartanians.
No, my friend, you must not go there. The Spartanians are not to be trifled with.
Well, now, we didn't intend to trifle with them.
Scott, the saucer's blasting off.
So are we, Chris. Just as soon as we can get back to the Starduster. We'll put a stop to this nonsense once and for all.
Can Scott, Crystal, and Taurus free the small planet of Utopia from slavery? Don't miss the next exciting episode of Space Angel. Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of The Slave World. Last time, Sesam, the ruler of Utopia, explained to Scott, Crystal, and Taurus how the neighboring planet Spartania orbited megatomic rays around the small planet. As they were talking, the Spartanians' spacecraft landed. Those Utopians chosen to serve as slaves file on board to be taken to Spartania. Scott, Chris, Taurus blasted off for the neighboring planet.
We're in free flight. This is going to be a short run.
Old Sesam was sure upset about our going to Spartania.
I guess he has good reason to be upset. The Spartanians must be terrible people. Can you imagine a slave state in the 21st century?
There it is, altering course for orbital approach. Guess I better radio in for landing instructions. Spartan Control, this is the Starduster from the United Planets Outer Galaxy, requesting permission to land.
I wonder if they'll let us.
Starduster, this is Spartan Control. Permission denied. You have no official business here.
On the contrary, this is an official visit. We represent the Interplanetary Space Council.
We do not recognize your space council. We are masters of our own affairs. Strongly suggest you turn back.
I wonder if they're as big as they sound.
Starduster to Spartan Control. We're landing. Notify your superiors.
Very well, Starduster. We'll give you a homing beam on Interstellar Channel. Stay on the beam. Your ship will be covered by disintegrating rays at all times.
Well, now, that's what I call a friendly invitation.
Stand by for vertical landing. Extend landing legs.
Landing legs extended.
So far, so good.
Crystal, you stay aboard. We'll keep our intercom open to the Starduster's frequency. If we get in trouble, you'll know it. And contact the Space Force for help.
Right, Scott.
Skipper, here comes a surface craft.
Let's go out and meet it.
No driver. Must be remote control.
Well, hop aboard, Taurus.
The invaders will please follow the blinker guides to the conference room.
Invaders? That must mean us, Skipper.
I suppose it does, Taurus. Let's go. Well, here we are.
What a place to throw a ball. These are the terrible Spartanians? I was expecting men.
They may be physically weak, but remember their strength and intelligence.
Well, intruders, state your business. What does your Space Council want of us?
We've come to invite you to join the Interplanetary Space Council. However, we must protest your practice of forced servitude.
We have no interest in your Space Council. By what right do you interfere with our affairs?
For the right of individual freedom and equality.
Spartania recognizes only the power of the superior mind.
If it's power you respect, the Space Council has plenty of that, too.
In other words, you intend to force us to give up our slaves?
The decision to use force is not up to me. But we certainly must report to the Space Council what we found here.
Fools, I can destroy you with a touch of my finger.
Us, perhaps. But you'd have the whole galaxy to answer to.
Huh. Very well. We accept the challenge.
Oh, no! Mayday! Mayday! Starduster calling space control. Come in, please. Oh!
You will turn off the communicator and come with me, Earth creature.
Did the Space Control Center receive Crystal's message? Or are Scott, Taurus, and Crystal completely cut off from outside help? Don't miss the next exciting episode of Space Angel! Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of The Slave World. Last time, Scott, Crystal, and Taurus landed on the planet Spartania. Leaving Crystal aboard the Starduster, Scott and Taurus went to find the ruler. Scott protested the Spartanian practice of slavery against the planet Utopia. As they were about to leave, the ruler paralyzed Scott and Taurus with a ray beam. Crystal, aboard the Starduster, sent an emergency call, but she was captured before the call was completed.
I suppose I have no choice, little man, since you have a weapon and I am defenseless.
Precisely. And it is my intention that you remain defenseless.
Now let's join your friends.
Yes, Chief, I'm sure it was the Starduster. She said Mayday twice, then the emergency homing signal.
Send a squadron from Pluto to investigate.
Right, Chief.
I think that should be enough.
Skipper, I can't move.
I can't either, Taurus. It was some kind of paralyzer ray.
Just temporarily, so that you will see the hopelessness of your situation.
The full power would have made you permanently immobile.
We're not entirely without resources ourselves.
Is that so? Can you turn your heads yet? We have the other member of your crew.
She was trying to communicate with her people, Excellence. I suspected as much. We Spartanians are not easily fooled.
Then what do you intend doing with us?
With proper discipline, you might become good slaves.
Toth, take them to their quarters. Did you get a message through to the Space Force, lass?
I didn't have a chance, Taurus, but I switched on the emergency homing signal.
And there's probably a squadron on the way out here now.
Skipper, they won't know what to expect. They could fly right into a trap.
Exactly. The Spartanians can activate those ray stations and wipe them out, along with the planet Utopia.
Then we've got to get to a radio and warn them. But how?
Scott McCloud.
Seize them.
What are you doing here?
Never mind that. I've been thinking. You have been risking your lives to help free my people.
That's our job, Cecil.
I know. And I owe it to my people to help you if I can.
Do you have a service craft we can use?
Yes, I have. But how will you get out? I have no weapon.
I think we can manage it. How about it, Taurus?
Shouldn't be too difficult. Just stand back, Cecil.
What's he going to do? They took all our weapons.
Not all of them, Chris. We still have Taurus strength.
What tremendous strength.
Let's go.
You have a fix on the Starduster signal yet? Triangulation fixes the Starduster in the area of the twin planets. Base Force 1 to Squadron. Our destination seems to be in the area of the twin planets. Stay tight and keep your eyes open.
Stay out of sight till we get through the city.
We will.
Don't worry.
All clear.
So far, so good.
You know where our ship is, Cecil?
Yes, I know.
I will take you to it.
Scott, we'll never get off the ground. Your surface rays will blast us if we attempt to take off.
Not if we can knock out the ray stations before we blast off.
First, we've got to find them.
I know where all their installations are. Our people had to build them.
That's great, Cecil. If you'll point them out to us, we'll do the rest.
We are nearing your ship.
Set down where there's cover.
Your Excellence, the prisoners have escaped.
The fools. They can't get off this planet. Notify all stations to shoot them on sight. What about their ship, Excellence? Cross the disintegrator beams over their ship. If they try to take off, their ship will become their tomb.
What will happen when the Starduster blasts off into the disintegrator beams? Can Scott's plan possibly work? Don't miss the next exciting episode of Scott McCloud, Space Angel. Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of The Slave World. Last time, Scott, Taurus, and Crystal escaped from the Spartan dungeon and headed back toward the Starduster with Sesam. The Spartans, meanwhile, had crossed disintegrator rays over the ship, so that if they tried to get off, they would be destroyed.
You know where the ray stations are that would be covering our ship?
That strange-looking tower across the valley is one.
Its ray is invisible. You cannot tell with the eye whether it is on or not.
There's another one on the opposite side of the valley.
I see. They've really got us boxed in.
That's why they landed us in this valley. This is as close as we dare get with a saucer. You'd better take it from here on foot.
Thanks, Sesam. If we make it, we'll be back with our Space Force.
Thank you, my friends. I must get back now before I'm missed.
I've got a definite fix on the Starduster homing signal. It's coming in from the larger planet. Keep trying to reach them. Aye, aye.
Ready, gang?
Aye, Skipper.
Right, Scott. Should I radio the Space Force?
No, Chris. If we started broadcasting, the Spartanians would know we're here and blast us before we could get a message off.
I can see the rays crossed over us on the infrared detector. I wonder why they haven't blasted our ship.
Either they don't know we've escaped yet, or they're just waiting for us to fly into the ray on liftoff.
We'll blast them on liftoff, right, Skipper?
Right. We don't want to give them time to put any other rays into action.
Sounds like awful close timing. I hope we make it.
Stand by for blastoff.
Hold her steady. Now.
Good shooting, Taurus.
Starduster, this is Space Force One. Come in, please.
There they are.
Chris, switch me to the Space Force channel. Space Force One. This is Starduster. Over.
Skipper, I've got him. Starduster, this is Space Force One. What's the trouble?
Space Force One, this is Starduster. I have a target for you. There are 8 megatomic ray stations orbiting the small planet of Utopia. They must be knocked out. Use caution. They can be activated at any time. Try to hit them simultaneously. I'll keep them occupied down below.
Roger, Starduster. We'll be in your area in 2 space units.
Here they come.
Chris, stand by to launch the Space Star. I'm going below.
Space Force One to all ships. Arm your rockets. Split and attack. I'll take the one on the starboard.
Roger, Captain. Boy, these things really go off with a bang. Just like the 4th of July. Like shooting fish in a barrel.
Your Excellence, spacecraft are destroying our ray stations. Blast them with the surface rays.
Skipper, the ray station got 2 of our ships.
I'll get it. Blast off.
Scott dives down into the Utopia atmosphere to blast the ray station.
Watch out for that surface ray.
I got it, Taurus.
Good work, Skipper.
All orbiting ray stations knocked out. Any further orders?
Move in and secure. And thanks, Space Force.
I don't know how to thank you for securing the freedom of our people.
It's our privilege.
Freedom is one thing that's always worth fighting for. Make sure you never lose it again.
We won't, Scott. The freedom that you and your brave friends have won for us will never be lost.
Speaking of freedom, how about a leave, Skipper?
Yes, I need time to get my hair done.
To a woman, there's nothing more important than her hair.
And so ends the adventure of the Slave World. Don't miss the next exciting story of Space Angel.
Once upon a time in a faraway galaxy, bad men and women took control, and the good citizens packed their belongings into a sunlight-driven space frigate and formed a pioneer train, heading for faraway places in a good and new life, on an unspoiled planet they hoped to call their own. The journey continued month after month through the endless vastness of outer space, as one planet after another was discarded as unsuitable for the peaceful life they'd planned. And so they eventually arrived in the vicinity of Earth. Meanwhile, on the moon, where he had established a life as a happy hermit, Crater Eddie discovered a strange signal on his homemade scope.
I'll be hornswoggled. Hello there, Evening Star. This is your old pal, Crater Eddie. Come in, Evening Star. Scott, Taurus, Crystal. Hey, is anybody home?
Come in, Crater Eddie. We're all here. Scott. Scott. Scott, come here.
What is it, Crystal?
I got a bunch of guys on my screen. Come chasing around in space. Looks like they're headed this way.
What do you mean, a bunch of guys?
Crazy critters, moving in a line like a bunch of geese.
Like an old-fashioned wagon train, perhaps? You sure you're not nipping on that space juice again, Eddie?
You watch your tongue, Taurus. I know what I see.
Long ago, there was trouble in the 24th galaxy.
We picked up signals that a train of spacecraft took off, apparently to find a new home.
They traveled always in a straight line, but then we lost them. You sure it isn't just a short circuit in that jerry-built rig of Eddie's?
I tell you, I see them. They're coming.
What frequency are you watching?
Oh, I don't know nothing from frequencies. I watch whatever comes on the screen.
If it's what I think it is, it might be worth investigating. How about you three taking a run up there to see for yourselves?
And so, while the Space Angel and his crew went off to visit old Crater Eddie, the train of space frigates continued on its faraway course toward new horizons, ever hopeful of finding a home of their dreams, an uninhabited planet or moon on which to continue the simple life which was part of their heritage and tradition.
I'll show that, Taurus. I'll show them all. Hey, Eddie, you in there?
Took you long enough. There, Taurus. Now say I got spots in front of my eyes.
Eddie, I think you've got something there.
Tune in again next time for another exciting episode with Scott McCloud, Space Angel. Last time, Crater Eddie discovered a strange wagon train formation in space, moving steadily toward Earth. Though Scott, Taurus, and Crystal are skeptical at first, they have to admit that Eddie is right.
Looks as if they're coming your way, Eddie.
Seem to be harmless critters. Harmless or not, I don't want them here. This is my moon.
Now, Eddie, don't be unsociable.
If I wanted company, I'd have stayed on that Earth of yours.
Maybe we better go out and investigate. We don't really want an unidentified caravan entering our sphere.
The train of space frigates continues on its way, unaware that they have been observed. But others, too, have learned of their presence. Afraid of armed invasion, they race to attack. Aware of imminent danger, the frigates move into defensive position.
Hey, gang, look at this.
What in heaven's name is it, Scott? Looks like a fireworks pinwheel.
Reminds me of Indians attacking a wagon train in the Old West.
Don't be silly.
Taurus, you may have hit the nail on the head. They're being attacked. That's what's happening.
Well, let's get up there. They need help. The cavalry to the rescue, eh, Skipper? Pour on the goals.
Skipper, the bligers are turning tails. Boy, they're taking off for the hills like a bunch of scared rabbits.
Let's try to make contact with our wagon train. Find out what this is all about.
Well, I've been trying every frequency, but I'm getting nowhere.
Firing retros, Taurus. And stand by. I'm going out and talk to them.
Roger, Skipper. Watch your step.
They look harmless enough.
I've heard that before.
Take care of the store while I'm gone, Taurus.
Aye, Skipper.
I'm tuned to 122.9er, Scott. Keep your mic open just in case, and be careful.
Will do, Crystal.
How will Scott be received? Tune in again next time for another exciting episode with Scott McCloud, Space Angel. Last time, Scott, Crystal, and Taurus took off in the Starduster to check on the approaching craft. They arrived just in time to help fight off an attack by the enemy. Having successfully repelled the intruders, Scott decides to go and talk to the occupants of the strange craft.
Maybe we should have gone along, just in case.
The skipper knows what he's doing.
He's alone. Let him in. Welcome, stranger. You come in peace, I presume?
To offer any help we may be able to give. I'm Scott McCloud, from Earth.
Oh, yes. You are well known. We are settlers in search of a home. Where we came from, sinful behavior, savage music, and delinquency threatened our families. So we took our wives and children and set out toward a new frontier. We wish to thank you for frightening the attackers away.
I told you, settlers and Indians.
Shh. A pleasure. Did you know who they were and why they attacked? Well, I'm afraid not. But wherever there are peaceful men, there is evil bent on destroying them. May I offer you our protection for the rest of your journey?
A pretty wise old goat.
Where are you headed?
The Earth's moon. We have been told that it is quiet and deserted.
It is that. Only one old hermit makes his home there. I'm sure he'll welcome you.
Bite your tongue, Skipper. You know the old reprobate will scream his head off.
We will try not to disturb your friend.
We better contact Eddie and tell him that he'll have company.
We'll stand by just in case the attackers decide to return.
Blast this thing, now I lost them. Hey, Scott, Taurus, Stardust, and Crystal, come in. This is Eddie. That blasted flubber tube is acting up. There they are. That's funny. How'd they get over there?
Eddie, this is Scott calling you. Eddie, come in.
Scott, where you been? I've been calling you.
Eddie, roll out that frayed old red carpet you got stashed. I'm bringing you some very nice guests.
Scott, hey, Scott.
They're good people, looking for a quiet place to settle.
Scott,
Relax now, old fella. You like them.
Dang it, Scott. Look to your left. 10 o'clock low. You're the one that's got visitors, and they don't look like friendly critters to me.
Roger, Eddie. Thanks. Got them in sight. Stand by.
Will Scott be able to fight off the attackers? Tune in again next time for another exciting episode with Scott McCloud, Space Angel. Scott, visiting the occupants of the strange craft, found them to be friendly people in search of a new and peaceful planet on which to settle. When Scott calls Crater Eddie to tell him that they are headed for his moon, Eddie warns that another attack is about to take place.
Look out. Here we come.
Let's give it to them.
Take it, Taurus.
1, 2, 3. Howie, right in the kisser. They're breaking up, Skipper.
Ouch! Taurus finally learned how to shoot. Oh, here they come. Ding dang that Scott. Hey, Scott. Hey, Scott.
That sounds like Crater Eddie trying to get through.
Crystal, see if you can squelch that static.
Scott, blast you. Go take those guys someplace else. This is my moon. I got squatters' rights.
I have no right to stop them, Eddie. They want quiet, and that's what you've got. Might as well relax and put out the welcome mat.
In a pig's ear, I'll relax. There they come. I better hurry up and prepare my special welcome for them. I'll give them peace and quiet. Welcome to Eddie's Quiet Moon. Eddie's Quiet Moon.
So while Scott and the train of space frigates prepared to land, Eddie was feverishly preparing his mysterious welcome for the unwanted visitors. To find out the surprise he has prepared for them, tune in again next time for another exciting episode with Scott McCloud, Space Angel. Warned just in time by Crater Eddie, Scott helped the pioneers to fight off another attack. Then, under his protection, they head toward the moon, where Crater Eddie has prepared a less than hearty welcome.
Hi, Eddie. Stop your hiding. I see you. Come on over. Come on now. I want you to meet your new neighbor, Cousin Jonathan.
How do you do, Cousin Eddie?
Cousin, how do you do?
Scott, come in, Scott. Better get back, Scott. They want us at Earth Control.
Roger, Torres. Okay, Eddie. You show Cousin Jonathan around. I'll stop by soon to see how you're getting along.
Well, all right, Scott, if you say so. I'll move over, Cousin Jonathan. All right, cousin. I'll show you around, and if you get this thing to move...
Quite right, Cousin Eddie. It looks wonderfully peaceful. This is perfect for Cousin Obadiah's community hall.
Cousin Obadiah?
Yes, he's in charge of the meetings of the cousins. What's that?
What's what?
Oh, that terrible music.
What music? I don't hear any music.
Oh, that noise! It's horrible!
What noise? I don't hear any noise. All the time we have soothing melody.
I've got to get away. Show me the way back, Cousin Eddie. Please, hurry.
But I don't understand, cousin.
We can't stay here. The only place left to explore are the moons of Saturn.
But they're deadly quiet. You wouldn't want to go there.
It would be heaven. I bid you a hasty farewell, Cousin Eddie.
Well, if that's the way you feel about it, cousin. So long, cousins. I'll miss you. Uh-oh. There we go again. Well, Scott, long time have no say.
Why, Eddie, what happened to the cousins?
They went THATAWAY.
Tune in again next time for another exciting adventure with Scott McCloud, Space Angel. Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of The Cosmic Combat.
Starduster to Earth Control. Preparing entry program. Speed to 5,000.
Roger, Starduster. Clear on interplanetary lane.
Firing braking rockets. All set, gang?
Cooler on. Standing by, lad.
All set, Scott.
Here we go. We'll skip in to reduce friction.
Path 3 of all equipment and personnel.
As you know, Scott, we have been conducting unmanned space probes through these 4 major galaxies with spectacular results.
We have now developed the resources and science for the next logical step.
Commander Scott, you are going to be the one to launch Supermariner into the new frontier, Vector 5.
I cannot stress too highly the importance of this task.
Vector 5? We're about 2 years ahead of ourselves, aren't we, Chief?
We've barely begun to explore the other galaxies.
And that will take several lifetimes.
Meanwhile, Project New Frontier will get underway.
What about the launching platform? How soon?
It will be completed by tomorrow. Care to see the progress?
Sure, Chief.
That's the human race for you. Why walk if you can run?
Taurus.
The assembly crew is just about finished.
I used to run one of those space bugs myself. Remember, Skipper?
Yeah, Taurus. But it was always such a tight squeeze.
Now, Skipper. Here comes the fueling crew. We'll be using the new Plus X plasma fuel,
which responds to magnetic forces, permitting the highest acceleration of magnetic particles.
Right. Those little pods have enough power to blow up a whole planet if anything went wrong. That's why I want you to fire and observe from a distance by remote control. After the launch, Professor Mace will track and record for the Evening Star.
Won't we need some special high-frequency equipment?
Your remote control unit will be put aboard the Starduster tonight. You will blast off at 0600 hours.
Oh, dear.
The cry of the disappointed female. What is it, Crystal?
I was hoping to have my hair done. It's been days.
I guess some things never change. On free flight.
The trajectory is good. We'll rendezvous in 12 units.
I have the Supermariner on the scope now. The workmen are now clearing the area. Better start checking the remote control unit, Chris.
Hey, Skipper, look! Something's gone wrong.
Its gyro system has gone haywire. It's pulling it off orbit.
Scott, I have no control at all.
Look at the magnetic indicator. It's gone haywire.
Jumping Jupiter, I don't believe it. It's turning completely around and pointing towards Earth.
Something or someone is taking control of the space platform.
Chris, push the destroy button.
Destroy. Right. Scott, nothing happened.
It's zeroing in on Earth.
The engines are being activated. It's going to fire.
Crystal, jam the high-frequency circuit. That should disrupt the signals that are controlling the Supermariner.
Right, Scott.
That did it. The Supermariner is lighting itself.
It worked.
Phew. But that was a close one.
We've stopped whoever it is that's trying to control the Supermariner, but with that frequency jammed, we have no control either.
We may have to board it and blast it off manually.
We're coming up fast, Skipper.
Right, Taurus. Firing braking rockets. Coming alongside.
Look, Scott, there's your gremlin. The nerve center of the Supermariner has jumped its trolley.
I don't think so, Crystal. More likely, other forces are trying to control it on a new frequency.
Then we'd better get over there in a hurry.
I'll go along. You two stand by here.
Scott, look! Everything's gone haywire.
Our electro-gyro is out. We're being reduced to space environment.
We're losing gravity.
Quick, strap yourselves into those seats.
Oops. The G indicator shows 0.
Taurus, push up forward and take the controls.
Be careful, Scott.
If I can switch the rockets to manual control, we'll still get her launched.
Better hurry, lad. I don't like the looks of things out there.
On my way.
Earth Control calling Evening Star. Come in, Professor Mace. Evening Star to Earth Control. Yes, Chief.
We have lost all contact with the Starduster. Are you in contact with them?
No, there's a tremendous electrical disturbance in that area. Frankly, I'm worried.
Keep trying and get back to me as soon as you know something. Earth Control out. I'm almost there. Taurus, how's the pressure holding?
12% drop and falling, Skipper.
You and Crystal better get into spacesuits. Don't take any chances. I'm at the base now. I'll attempt disconnect. There. That's the stabilizer.
Good work, Skipper.
Scott, it can still blow.
No problem. I've disconnected the firing circuits.
But the indicator is continuing the countdown. Something is activating it. The Mariner is going to fire.
Okay. Shoving off.
Hurry, Scott! Hurry! It's going to blow!
Scott! Scott! Where are you? Evening Star. Evening Star, this is Earth Control. Evening Star, come in, please. Earth Control, this is Evening Star. Yes, Chief. This is Professor Mace speaking.
Mace, what's happening? What's going on out there? We've recorded a blast.
That was the Mariner. It's off and tracking. But I still can't raise the Starduster.
Scott, answer me, Scott.
Here, Crystal. Hold on until I hit my topside air jet. Finally got control. How about in there?
Not so good. The blast opened up a steam and we're losing pressure fast.
Hang on, Chris. I'll be right there.
hope I'm not too late. Crystal, are you all right?
Oh, Scott!
Of course she's all right. She can get along without oxygen. But me, I'd like it.
Be my guest, Taurus. Start breathing.
Scott! Taurus, look! The radiation counter.
We're drifting into the Van Allen radiation belt. Taurus, you check the hull and repair damage.
Right, Skipper.
Crystal, blast the forward jets and check this drift.
Right, Scott.
Starduster, calling Starduster. This is Evening Star, calling Starduster.
It's Dad calling from the Evening Star.
Starduster. Starduster, this is Evening Star.
Communication's working again.
Starduster, this is Evening Star, over.
I got it.
Starduster. Starduster, this is Professor Mace.
Dad!
Professor Mace, we read you.
Crystal, Scott, Taurus, thank heavens you're still all right. I saw the blast, then lost contact. The Mariner shot was good. It's out and orbiting.
Good. Would you relay that information to the chief? We're out of range.
I have. He was more concerned about you three.
Tell him we're okay. We're going to try to find the power source that caused all the trouble.
Try the magnetic compo computer. Open all bands and see what happens.
Will do, Professor. And thanks. Starduster out.
Out here.
There, Skipper. Did you see it?
What do you make of it, Taurus?
Hard to say. That's obviously the source of the signals. Too strong to be anything else.
But there's nothing out there, Scott. Radar shows an empty vacuum. Not even a stray asteroid.
Yet we're picking up a magnetic impulse stronger than our own telebeams to Earth.
Skipper, I've got an idea. Why don't we send a scanner beam along the same contact here and see what we pick up?
Might work at that. How much energy in the auxiliary?
2,000 kills and buildings.
Come on. Let's give it a try.
What is it?
A space station of some sort. I don't recognize any of the markings on her. I'd better get up forward. Meteors, Taurus?
No, Skipper. Looks more like some kind of fighting craft.
Fighting craft. Man your battle stations.
Scott, who are they?
I don't know. If they were friendly, they wouldn't be sending out fighters.
Here it comes, Skipper.
Roger. Stand by for attack. Ready, Taurus?
Aye, Skipper. I got a bead on the blighters.
Hold it. They're breaking formation.
Skipper. Hey, those ships have no pilots. They're drones.
Controlled by the space stations. Here comes another one, 12 o'clock high.
See 'em, Skipper.
Scott! Another, 6 o'clock low.
Start firing, Taurus. They're out for our heights.
Right, Skipper. The devils are everywhere. That's showing 'em, eh, Skipper?
Good work, Taurus.
Here come the others.
what I call great teamwork, Skipper. What flying?
If you don't mind, fellas, how about going back for my stomach?
I'm afraid it's only the beginning, Crystal. Unless I'm mistaken, they won't take this lying down.
What can they do now? That space pad couldn't carry more than 6 fighters, could it?
We don't know how far they are from their home base. No telling what they're up to.
Hey, Scott! Taurus! Look, the televiewer! It's heading this way.
What do you think, Scott?
Plot that baby's speed and distance, will you, Crystal?
Right, Scott.
I'm going to call Professor Mace to relay the situation to the chief, just in case.
You won't like this, Skipper. That big monkey is converging on us with blood in his eyes.
Professor Mace here. Go ahead, Scott.
Professor, relay this message to the chief. Encountered unfriendly space station in Sector 27. We knocked out 6 of their attacking drone fighters. The mothership is closing on its fast.
I'll alert the Space Force. We can have a squadron in your area within 2 hours.
That's not necessary, Professor. Within the next few minutes, we'll either disappear or be completely out of danger.
I'll relay the message, Scott. Good luck and be careful.
Here it comes, Skipper.
Roger. Stand by for attack.
It's closing fast, Scott.
Shall we stand here and slug it out?
Not with that power pack. Be like a mosquito fighting an elephant. We need some diversionary action. If we were running away, we might gain an advantage and take them by surprise.
Good idea, Skipper. What's your plan?
I'll take off in the Dart, and you two remain here in the Starduster and be a decoy.
Or rather a sitting duck, eh, Skipper?
Oh, Taurus, this is no time for joking.
He's not joking, Chris. Give me time to get away astern, and then take off. Big Nasty will chase you.
And that'll give you a chance to sneak in from behind.
You got it. And Taurus, try to stay out of its range.
You'd better hurry. Big Nasty is closing in fast.
Right. Taurus, stand by for launching the Space Dart.
Now to light a candle to this baby. You dropped out of sight like a bottomless pit, Skipper. Well, just hope he didn't see me. Good luck, Taurus. You're the one needing the luck, Skipper. Go on to hunting, lad.
They are 10.5 astroleagues away.
Hey, okay, lassie. Count them up.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Big Nasty took the bait, Taurus. It's coming after us.
Ah, splendid, girl. I'm going to level down now to give the skipper his chance.
Uh-oh, Taurus. They've opened fire.
Come on, Scott, wherever you are.
I'm on his tail, Taurus. I'm firing.
My rockets aren't getting through the electromagnetic field that's around it.
I'm going to move in closer.
Be careful, Scott.
No soap. I'm going to attempt to land on Big Nasty.
But, Scott, that electric field, you'll be burned to a crisp.
I don't think so, Chris. My instruments record high voltage, but very low amperage.
I hope you're right.
He made it, Taurus. He's getting out of the Dart.
Careful of the crew, Skipper. Don't tell her what kind of beings are on that thing.
No beings, Taurus. It's remote controlled by computers of some kind. Whoever is fighting us must be millions of light years away and chasing you through electronic eyes. Maybe we can destroy the vision of this mechanical monster. Those must be the eyes at the end of the pod. That did it.
They may not be able to see us, but they're sure laying down a barrage.
Not for long, Taurus. I think I found the electronic brain.
You've done it, Scott.
Well done, Skipper.
This is quite a ship, Taurus. We can learn a lot from it if we can tow it back for the space intelligence boys.
Scott, you better get off that thing. I think it's still active.
Lifting off now, Chris. Don't worry.
Stop!
I'm okay, Chris. Just got an extra boost.
Skipper, I thought you'd never make it.
When I blasted that robot's brain, it must have set off some kind of time bomb.
Where could it have come from?
The plating radiation indicated it was at least 300 years old.
Then it will probably be 300 years before they can send another one into our galaxy.
Ha! Only 300 years. Let's stick around and give them a hearty welcome, eh, Skipper?
This is Scott McCloud in the Starduster, returning to home base.
And so ends the adventure of the Cosmic Combat. Don't miss the next exciting story of Space Angel.
Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel.
In the story of the Donovan Plan.
Wow, sure is a beautiful little ship. But why all the secrecy on this project?
This is the Space Angel's new ship.
Wow, no wonder. Hey, do you suppose he'll come in and inspect it? I'd sure like to see him.
We probably wouldn't know if he did, since no one knows who the Space Angel is. He could even be one of our workmen.
Hey, who are the VIPs?
That's Scott McCloud and his flight engineer. They're Space Force. Just a big megatomic engine with 2 seats on it. Those engine tests are fantastic. 10 million pounds of thrust. I can't wait to try them out, Skipper.
Yes, Taurus. Dark 2 will have more thrust per pound of weight than any ship in the universe. And it won't be long now. Let's go over and see the chief about testing this baby.
Will that be all, sir?
Yes, Carter. Just see that we're not disturbed.
Yes, sir. I'll be in microfilm if you need me.
Now, let's get down to business. How does the Dark check out, Scott?
She's ready to go, Chief. The new engine looks great.
And we'd like permission to test her right away.
That's what I want to talk to you about. This flight test would be a perfect cover-up for a top-secret project.
What do you mean, Chief?
I mean the light ray, or death ray, better known as Project Flashlight.
I didn't know Professor Mace was even close to the testing stage on Project Flashlight.
The conversion crystal gave us the breakthrough. The ray is ready for testing now. I don't have to tell you the importance of secrecy on this project. Used as a weapon, the light ray could be the most destructive force in the galaxy.
Misused, such a device could jeopardize the whole space organization.
That's right. So we must proceed with utmost secrecy. People talk too much around here. Information has been leaking out, so we will conduct the test from the Evening Star. The light ray can be installed on the Dart there. You will conduct your flight tests in Sector 7 near the asteroid belt and test the ray on asteroids.
Yes, sir. We'll blast off within the hour.
Clear the area of all equipment and personnel. Starduster from launch control, you are clear for blast off.
Roger, Control. All set, Taurus?
All go here, Skipper.
Blasting off.
Carter. Where are you, Carter? Answer me, Carter.
Sorry, Chief. I was busy filing and didn't hear you. What can I do for you, sir?
As soon as you're finished, I've got some reports for you to file.
Yes, sir. I'll be up in a few minutes, sir.
It's a message from Carter. This is the information I've been waiting for. So they've perfected the death ray, eh? That's right, sir. The Space Angel will be testing it in the new DART in Sector 7 tomorrow. That is good. That is very good indeed. With the death ray in the DART, I will have a weapon that can control the galaxy. But, sir, the Space Angel, he is not to be trifled with. The Space Angel is only mortal like the rest of us. I will capture the DART and the death ray. I have a plan.
What is the evil plan of Professor Donovan? Don't miss the next exciting episode of Space Angel. Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of the Donovan Plan. Last time, the powerful new ship, DART 2, was made ready for testing. The chief ordered Scott to also test the top-secret light ray, the most destructive force in the galaxy. As the Starduster blasted off, a Professor Donovan and his assistant made plans to capture the DART 2 and the death ray.
Evening Star, this is Starduster, approaching on Earth space lane.
Request landing instructions. Over.
Starduster, this is Evening Star. Correct angle of approach, 35 degrees, and switch to automatic landing control.
Roger, Evening Star.
Professor Mays, the Starduster is coming aboard in tube 3, sir.
Right, Control. Have the Project Flashlight crew report there for installation. And ask Scott and Torres to meet me in the briefing room. The basic principle of this device is simple. The same megatonic pack that powers the ship powers the light ray. The beam is directed by a lens system through the conversion crystal, which amplifies its power and projects it through a grid. That's all there is to it. You say that thing packs a wallop equal to 1,000 megatons?
The laboratory test was a complete success. The results were identical with the computer's predictions.
That was under controlled conditions. How about the changing environments under normal operation?
Its power source is independent of outside environment. Theoretically, its range is unlimited. But that's for you to check out, Scott.
What about controls?
Your control system is simple. You'll have plenty of time to check them out before blastoff. Blastoff is scheduled for 0900.
Clear the tube for blastoff.
Trapped in, gang?
Go here.
Aye, Skipper.
Tube doors opening.
Right, make it a difference.
Trajectory, go.
AB temperature, go.
Increasing power.
Sector 7, Scott.
Take over control, Stars, and stand by for launching the DART.
Aye, Skipper. Wish I could go with you. Sure hate to miss this ride. There's a ship entering the area, sir. It must be the Space Angel.
Come into my parlor, said the spider to the fly.
It won't be long now, will it, sir?
Be patient, Vanilla. Be patient.
Engine run-up test looks good, Taurus. All systems go.
I'll speed run the new engine first. The make a pass at the asteroid belt and test the light ray.
Right, Skipper. I'm standing by to launch.
Stay on course 7.05. That will keep you clear of the asteroid belt.
I read you, Chris.
Let her go, Taurus.
Look at that baby go!
At 50% throttle, all systems go. Increasing power to 3/4.
Speed, 86,000 and increasing.
Better back off, Scott, or you'll be out of the test area.
Aye, Skipper. You can't take that baby into the space lanes at that speed.
Roger. Firing retro rockets.
What tremendous thrust that little ship has. He's slowing down. Soon the Space Angel will be testing the light ray gun. It is time to make our move, Vanilla. Soon that power will be mine.
Can Professor Donovan succeed in capturing the Dart II and the Death Ray? Don't miss the next exciting episode of Space Angel. Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of the Donovan Plan. Last time, Scott, Crystal, and Taurus blasted off in the Starduster, headed into outer space and to the testing area where they launched the Dart II. As he tested the new ship, Scott made ready to fire the light ray. Closely watching the operation were Professor Donovan and his assistant, just waiting for the right moment to try to capture the Dart and the Death Ray.
Taurus, I'm moving into the edge of the asteroid belt now to test the light ray.
Lining up for a shot now. Got one in sight. Range 300 astrolines.
The ray completely powdered that asteroid. Think I'll try a big one. I'd say the light ray is a complete success. Cal, there's an emergency flare right in the middle of that asteroid belt.
Somebody's in trouble. I'm going in to investigate.
Now, what in the blazes would anyone be doing out there? It's way off the space lanes.
Well, it could be a prospector, but there are no records of any recent flights out there, Scott.
Well, someone's out there. There goes another flare.
There's something fishy about this. Watch your step, Skipper. Skipper, do you read me, Skipper? Come in, Skipper. It's no use, lass. We've lost him.
There's too much interference on that frequency. I'll try to pick him up on a higher frequency.
Good idea. I don't mind telling you, lass. I'm worried.
This is the general area where I saw those flares. If it was a spaceship, I should have spotted it by now. Uh-oh. What's that up ahead? It looks like a man.
Spotted my flare.
Well, climb aboard. I'll get you out of here.
Starduster calling Dart II. Come in, Scott.
All I see is a bunch of gravel out there. Everything's moving.
Starduster calling Dart II. Dart II. Scott, come in, please. There's still no answer, Taurus. Too much interference in that asteroid belt.
I think we'd better cruise out that way and take a look around. Yes, I was out here prospecting. I wrecked my ship on an asteroid.
Lucky I was in this area. I'll see if I can contact my ship and rendezvous for a pickup.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
What's the meaning of this?
I have need of your ship and your secret light ray to carry out my plans.
And just what are your plans?
My plan is to destroy the Space Council and install the Donovan Plan for a perfect universe.
You're mad.
Genius is often mistaken for madness. Now you will get out of the ship. Without radio or flares, you will float for eternity in the asteroid belt. Just one of thousands of blips on a screen.
Pick up anything, Chris?
There are 1,000 blips on that screen. I don't think we could find a freight train out there without some kind of signal.
Crystal and Taurus locate Scott, or is he lost forever in space? Don't miss the next exciting episode of Space Angel. Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of the Donovan Plan. Last time, as Scott was testing the new light ray in the dark, he picked up a distress signal. He found a man in space and took him aboard. The man was Professor Donovan, who at gunpoint forced Scott out of the ship and left him floating in space. Meanwhile, Crystal and Taurus aboard the Starduster were frantically trying to contact Scott.
I'm not entirely helpless, thanks to this little power pack. If the Starduster will just come into range to receive my signal.
This is the area where Scott last contacted us.
Taurus, I think I've got something. There's something traveling oblique to the asteroid belt.
Good, lass. I'll close in on it. It's a ship, all right, but it's not the dock.
It's an explorer ship, EX-47. Better contact them. Maybe they've seen Scott.
EX-47. This is the Starduster. Come in, please.
EX-47. This is the Starduster. Come in, please. I guess we better answer. This is EX-47. Go ahead, Starduster.
EX-47. Have you seen a small ship in this area?
Negative, Starduster. We haven't seen a thing.
Thanks, EX-47. Starduster out.
This scope is useless, Taurus. I think I'll try the audio system.
Good idea, lass. If Scott is in trouble, he'd signal us on the emergency frequency.
Come on, Taurus. Get in range.
Taurus, I've got him. A very weak signal bearing 37 degrees.
Good girl, Chris. Altering course to 37 degrees.
Come on, Taurus, Chris. We've got to warn the Space Council. They spotted me. Boy, what a beautiful sight.
Skipper, what happened to the dock?
Scott, are you all right?
Get the Evening Star, quick.
But, Scott, I don't understand. How could you lose the dart?
No time to explain now, Professor. Just stop the Space Council meeting scheduled for tomorrow.
Scott, I can't do that without going through channels. You know...
Take my word for it. It's a matter of life or death. Stop that meeting.
All right, Scott. If you say so. Out here.
Man your stations, kids. We're heading back at flank speed. And that's the whole story, Professor.
I know the man, Scott. That's Donovan. He had a plan to make all people more efficient through the use of computers. He called it the Donovan Plan. The Space Council expelled him 10 years ago.
The chief's calling you, Scott.
Oh, not you're in for it.
Go ahead, Chief.
How the devil could you let a weapon like that fall into the hands of that madman?
Sorry, Chief. An old prospector floating in space just didn't seem like a potential menace.
It wasn't entirely your fault, Scott. You remember Carter, my aide?
Yes, Chief.
He was Donovan's agent. I'm scrambling the whole Space Force with orders to blast the dart on sight.
It won't do any good, Chief. I'm afraid Donovan has the ultimate weapon. He can strike wherever and whenever he pleases. We are helpless.
That's right, Chief. The light ray could blast them all before they could get in range to use their space cannons. We'll have to find another way.
You'd better, or Donovan will control the galaxy.
Can Scott reach to the dart and the death ray? Don't miss the next exciting episode of Space Angel. Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of the Donovan Plan. Last time, Professor Donovan had commandeered the Dart II and the Death Ray, leaving Scott floating in space. Crystal and Taurus located Scott, picked him up, and returned to the Evening Star, where they made plans to recapture the Dart. This is where Taurus and Crystal made radio contact with Donovan's ship. If only I had known then that the Dart was inside that explorer ship.
That's it, Taurus. Maybe we can get to Donovan and the Dart through that ship.
Scott, we couldn't attack that ship. If we got within range, Donovan would launch the dart and blast us.
Professor Mace, where would you say that Donovan's base was?
Well, he attacked you in the asteroid belt here. And in a few hours, he will blast the Space Council on Jupiter. I'd say his base must be on one of the moons of Jupiter.
Exactly. Chris, get me the chief again.
You left me, lad. I can't see...
Chief's on, Scott.
What is it, Scott?
Chief, I have a plan. It may cost us a building, but I think we can get Donovan before he strikes again.
Well, go ahead. I'm game for anything.
Well, Donovan will put his ship in a parking orbit around Jupiter and launch the Dart from there. After the launch, and while he's blasting the empty Space Council building, we'll move in and take over the mother ship. When he returns, we'll have a surprise for him.
It's going to take mighty close timing and a lot of luck. His crew could warn him.
Not if we surprise them before they could get a message out.
Well, it's worth a try. We've got to do something. Okay, Scott.
We've got to know the second Donovan launches. Have all the Jupiter tracking stations watch for that explorer ship, EX-47.
Right, Scott. And good luck.
Got an unidentified blip in Sector 1. That's it, all right. EX-47. Notify the Space Angel. Starduster, this is Jupiter Tracking Station.
This is the Starduster. Go ahead.
We have your bogey in Sector 1.
Sector 1. Tell them we're on our way. Keep all ships clear of that area. We're getting close, Taurus. Can you spot him?
Don't get too close or they'll spot us.
Hi, got him. They're on orbital approach. They'll be launching the Dart any time now.
Good. We'll wait here till he does.
Vanilla, stay in this orbit till I return. And if you're challenged, you know what to say. He's launched, Skipper.
Great. Stand by to take the controls. And Chris, contact the ship for a routine identification. I'll go overboard as soon as we get alongside.
I've been waiting 10 years for this moment. Goodbye, Space Council.
Okay, Chris, do your stuff.
Explorer 47, this is the Starduster. You are off the space lane. Are you in trouble? Over.
We are making minor repairs. We'll be underway soon. No assistance required.
Roger, 47. Starduster out.
Lower the boom, Vanilla. I'll be coming in. Aha, Vanilla. Oh, no, the Space Angel.
That's right, Donovan. You failed again. That was an empty building you blasted. Now we'll head back to Earth. You can try out the Donovan Plan in prison. Starduster returning to base.
And so ends the story of the Donovan Plan. Don't miss the next exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel.
Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of The Exiles. Prison ship from Hollenbeck. You can set your clocks by that, baby.
Exiles on their way to the rock.
Exiles?
Scum of the solar system, Chris. The maximum security gangster elements from every planet in the galaxy.
They give me the shivers.
The rock is the most heavily guarded spot in the galaxy, Chris.
Just the same, what if there's a big prison break?
Well, they don't furnish them with spacesuits, you know. Relax, Captain, and your crew will not be harmed. All we want is your ship.
You'll never get away with this, low guy.
Are you trying to tell me I don't know my trade? I'm a professional, Captain. Commandeering your ship is a necessary step in our plan for liberating the Queen and your other guests on the rock.
The Queen? She's your leader?
But of course. You won't get away with this, low guy. Ah, Captain, but I will. You will see. But enough conversation. The Queen's expecting us. Take the captain below and release the prisoners.
What is this? Where's the captain?
You will please drop your blaster or you evaporate.
Why, you...
Get him! Now, round up the rest of the Boy Scouts and release the Queen.
You idiotic fool. What kept you so long? I've waited for months.
We were unavoidably detained, Highness. They questioned us for months before transferring us to this place.
Be quiet. General, apprise this bumbling imbecile of our plans.
Her Majesty has conceived of a means of making a rocket invisible. An invisible rocket? Yes. With such a craft, the riches of the universe will be ours.
And with the prisoners of this asteroid supplying our crew, we'll have the most talented assortment of cutthroats ever assembled.
But, Highness, what about the Space Angel?
This Space Angel, he shall be taken care of.
The Queen and her crew of cutthroats begin their patrol of the space lanes in the invisible ship, attacking the space freighters and taking their rich cargoes. Captain, there's a ship right on top of us. It came out of nowhere.
Hey, what did we hit?
Pressure loss in engine room, sir.
What in blazes is happening?
pirates! Help!
Space pirates, break out the arms.
That would be inadvisable, Captain. You will do exactly as we say, or suffer the consequences.
What a haul, Highness! Plutonomite in liquid form!
Hear that, my dear General? Plutonomite.
It's only the beginning, Highness. Only the beginning.
The invisible ship has no trouble sneaking upon the unsuspecting space freighters. By the time the crews realize what is happening, it is too late.
C4X Bravo, we're being hit by space pirates.
Chief, we have a mayday from C4X Bravo. They say they're being attacked by space pirates.
Space pirates? Get a squadron out there on the double.
Heavy freighter 450, mayday. Space pirates, mayday.
Tanker 100, space pirates, mayday, mayday. Space pirates? Not again. How many is that?
7, sir.
7 acts of piracy, and our Space Force can't find a thing. Dispatcher, get me the Evening Star. I want to talk to Scott McCloud.
Can Scott McCloud succeed in finding an invisible ship in space? Don't miss the next exciting episode of Space Angels. Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of The EXILES. Last time, as the prison ship carrying the most hardened criminals in the galaxy sped past the Evening Star, headed for the prison asteroid, the Rock, Logai, a dangerous gangster, commandeered the ship. He landed on the Rock and released the evil Queen Zora and the rest of the prisoners. The Queen and her general had completed plans for making an invisible rocket ship. With the released prisoners acting as crew, the Queen and her invisible ship hijacked 7 spaceships in the area. The chief of the Space Force put a call through to the Evening Star to Scott McCloud.
I'll get to work on it right away, Chief. Any idea who's behind these attacks?
No, Scott, no survivors. They take the cargo and crew, then they seem to disappear. And I mean disappear. That's a new wrinkle.
We'll do our best, Chief. Out here.
Good luck, Scott. Out here.
Now, how can a 50-ton spaceship just up and disappear? It doesn't make sense.
Crystal Miguel, when 5 of the best space pilots this side of Jupiter say they saw a spaceship disappear, I, for one, believe them.
Obviously, some form of camouflage, but highly developed.
Scott, look at this.
Yes, Professor.
There appears to be a set pattern established here. Each cargo vessel was attacked in 1, 3, 5, 7, and over here, 9.
What do you make of it, Professor?
There are 2 possibilities offered. This mystery ship could be coming from either Uranus or the dead planet. Jumpin' Jehoshaphat.
The Queen. I wonder if she's escaped.
I doubt it, but it might be worth checking into, Crystal.
Okay, Scott. I'll check with security.
Mayday! Mayday! We're being attacked! Vector 6, Section 2. Mayday! We're being attacked! Vector 6, Section 2.
Vector 6, Section 2. Ah, here we are. Oh, that's a far jump from the last strike, Scott. This attack is taking place near the end of our galaxy. Those space pirates really move around.
Professor, notify the Chief. Crystal, you and Taurus prepare the Starduster for blastoff. I think it's time the Space Angel took a hand in this.
Mayday! Mayday! We're being attacked in Vector 6, Section 2. Mayday!
Enough. That should get the Space Angel and the bungling Space Force out of the way.
Very clever, Highness. Very clever. I congratulate you. We've located that cargo fleet, Highness. 4 tugs fully loaded with beryllium peroxide.
Enough fuel to last us for years.
Shall I alert the crew?
At once. While the Space Angel is off on his wild goose chase, we strike. Not even a meteorite, Scott.
I've never seen so much nothing, Skipper.
Stand by. We're heading back to our own system. I think we've been duped.
Shoot, you fools. Can't you see we're being attacked? And what, Captain, and what?
Space pirates! Space pirates!
Scott heads back toward the vicinity of the previous attacks.
Scott, look!
It's them, all right. Stand by. Get set for attack.
Aye, Skipper. Another ship, Highness. Look, it's the Starduster.
Quickly, cut the lights and engines.
What the? She disappeared, Skipper. What now?
Keep your face in that scanner. We'll close on the area where the ship was.
Highness, look. He's maneuvered alongside.
He can't see us. The fool. He's blundered into a position where we can blast him into infinity. Ready all guns.
Can the Starduster withstand a direct hit from the invisible spacecraft? Don't miss the next exciting episode of Space Angel. Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of The Exiles. Last time, Queen Zora and her henchmen escaped from the prison asteroid and in the invisible rocket ship attacked 7 spacecraft, leaving no trace. As Scott, Crystal, and Taurus and the Starduster were returning to the base after answering a false call for help, which the Queen had broadcast, they came upon space pirates attacking a cargo ship. As they came closer, the spacecraft disappeared before their eyes. Scott unknowingly brought the Starduster alongside the invisible ship, and the Queen made ready to blast him from space.
Jumping Jehoshaphat!
Scott!
Hang on, we're okay.
The Starduster's still there. That's impossible.
Highness, we hit it with everything we have.
That craft is impervious to heat ray.
We're drifting out of range from the recoil of our salvo.
Continue the drift until they depart. Then return to the base. Should we meet again, my armor-plated friend, be prepared for disintegrators.
Just let those sneaking, bushwhacking Bluebeard types try it again and I'll powder them.
Give it up, Taurus.
Give it up!
They know their heat rays can't hurt us now. It'd be suicide for them to give their position away with another try. Stand by. We'll pick up the tug survivors and head in.
A ticklish situation, to say the least. You mean you watched it disappear?
That's right.
Aye, and in the nick of time, too. I had him right in my sights.
Scott, message from the chief. Evening Star here. Go ahead, sir.
We have just learned that the Queen and her general have escaped from the rock. They've released the other prisoners and destroyed the communication system. I am convinced she is at the bottom of this piracy.
If she's escaped, there's no doubt about it, Chief. This is the break we've been waiting for.
Right. And you'd better work fast.
Will do, Chief. We'll take off immediately from the dead planet. If the Queen's still using that hideout, we'll get word to you.
Okay, Scott. We'll wait to hear from you. I'll send a Space Force squadron to that vicinity in case you need help. Out here.
Out here.
So, the Space Angel is coming to visit us, eh? That is good. That is very good indeed. You are to be congratulated, General. Discovering the Space Council's ultra-frequency allows us to obtain information that is indispensable.
I am pleased, Your Highness. Your Highness no doubt has a plan.
Of course, Logai. We will eliminate the Space Angel once and for all.
orbital pattern. We're going to leave the Starduster upstairs while we investigate.
Leave the Starduster? But...
Yes. We'll take the landing sphere.
Not so much danger of being seen if they are here.
Right, and we can always land the Starduster if we need it.
Let's go.
So far, so good.
Scott, look! Welcome, Space Angel. You will please retreat to that cave entrance on your left. You have 10 seconds to get away from your landing craft.
She's got us for sure now, Skipper.
Better do as she says.
Oh, no! Our sphere! What now? What will happen when Scott and Taurus are taken before the evil queen? Don't miss the next exciting episode of Space Angel! Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of The Exiles. Last time, Queen Zora intercepted a Space Force message ordering Scott McCloud to blast off for the Queen's hideout, the Dead Planet. Scott, Taurus, and Crystal sped on their way. They left the Starduster in orbit and landed in a space sphere, where they were met and captured by a robot.
So, Space Angel, we meet again. I have anticipated this moment for a long time.
Can't anything stop your evil shenanigans? You pig! How dare you talk thus to our queen?
Logai, that will not be necessary.
The worlds of the solar system have been alerted, Queen Zora. Why go on? You can't possibly fight us all.
It is your solar system that must beware. I now have an army of the most violent creatures from all your planets. They anxiously await the moment to attack. There are many among your peoples that they wish to meet.
I see.
You are a fiend.
Steady, Chris.
Highness, let's put them away. We have much work to do.
Patience, Logai. I must savor this moment. You see, we shall never see these earthlings again. Throw them into the dungeon. I have a rather unique plan for getting rid of my guests. The 3 earthlings should appreciate such a unique experience. The switch, General. Very good.
Beautiful.
First thing we better do is land the Starduster.
That's kind of risky, isn't it?
It's a risk we'll have to take.
You're always one jump ahead of me, Skipper.
Yeah. Now we're ready. Chris, you and Taurus watch for the guard.
Coast clear, Skipper. Go ahead.
That's over.
Good work, Skipper.
I sure hope no one saw it land.
Don't think they did. Or they'd have blasted it.
Just let me at those bars.
I'm afraid those bars are too big, Taurus, even for you. I'll use the hydro torch. All clear. You two get to the ship. Taurus, get our weapons and come back here.
Chris, contact the Space Force and stand by to lead them in. I'm going to do a little snooping.
To you, Logai, goes the honor of escorting our guests on their last walk.
A pleasure, Highness. Will you accompany me, General?
Of course. But keep your blaster ready. The Space Angel may have a trick up his sleeve.
Can Scott stop the evil queen's plans for them? Don't miss the next exciting episode of Space Angel. Blast off for another exciting adventure in outer space with Scott McCloud, Space Angel, in the story of The Exiles. You remember last time, Scott, Taurus, and Crystal were captured by the evil Queen Zora on the dead planet. In the cell, Scott landed the Starduster by remote control. And then blasted the bars with his hydro torch, just as Logai and the General, with guns drawn, approached the cell door.
Skipper, you in there?
Come on in, Taurus, before you're spotted.
Chris got the Space Force. They'll be here in a couple of hours. What'd you find out?
No clue to the invisible ship. I scouted 2 of the passageways. Their main force seems to be...
Shh. They're coming.
Let's take them, Taurus. I've got a plan.
You 3 Earthlings will come with us to the Queen's chambers.
Stand away, big one. I wish to talk with the Space Angel. I refuse to move.
Blast him, General.
It's a pleasure, Logai.
Not even a goodbye, General?
The Space Angel.
Drop your gun, General.
All right.
Your little game is over. The Space Force is on the way. Now back out the door. I said move.
The door? What happened?
General tripped that metal door and got away.
General, what have you done? This is Logai. Don't leave me.
Skipper, the General. He'll sound the alarm.
Taurus, tie Logai up. I'm going to blast the door.
The Space Force! You stupid fool! We must escape! Quick, to the ship!
But the army, Highness. They must be warned. And Logai...
Logai and the army are the price we pay for your bungling. Now, get to the ship. Quickly, into space, where we cannot be seen.
They're getting away.
Let's get back to the Starduster. We've got to stop her. Anything, Taurus?
Not a thing, Skipper. They're probably there, but we can't see them.
Now we'll never catch them.
Search for the afterburner flame, Taurus.
Aye, Skipper.
What about the squadron from GHQ? How soon will they hit this sector, Chris?
They gave me an ETA of 15 space units, Scott.
When they arrive, we can make a triangulation check. It's an ambush. Give me a fix, Taurus.
Stand by, Skipper.
Those were disintegrator blasts. I hope our 4-field deflectors hold.
No luck, Skipper. They're not a boot to give away their position. They could be any place out here.
They're probably moving in for a closer shot. Chris,
check the constellations on the port side. Taurus, check on the starboard side.
Okay, Skipper, but I don't get it.
You will, Taurus. That is, if it works.
All set, Scott.
Check, lad. Go ahead.
Capricorn.
Check.
Sagittarius.
Check.
Aries.
Check.
Aries.
Aries, but that's in her sector, too.
That's it, you old bull. Let's see you place a bullseye right in the center of that constellation.
Skipper, have you lost your blooming mind? How can you hear constellation?
Do as I say, Taurus, quick.
Okay, here goes. Jumping Great Danes!
Good heavens! Scott, how did you know?
Simple enough. When you and Taurus both spotted Ares at opposing ends of the galaxy, one of them had to be a fake.
Sure.
The Queen ship must have been composed of mercury quartz.
The kind used in trick mirrors.
Why, sure, the whole ship was just a big, fancy mirror.
That's what made it invisible. It reflected blank space.
Exactly. Chris, contact Space Force and tell them to pick up survivors.
If there are any.
And add, mission accomplished.
And so ends the story of the Exiles. Don't miss the next exciting adventure of Scott McCloud, Space Angel.